Sage Wanderer coming at you from my van down by the river. Well, I apologize for my Oompa Loompa appearance, but I always struggle to get proper lighting in here, and I often shoot videos before sunrise because I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. I guess it's just the old Marine. He trained me to get up with the birds or before the birds, and when I'm not playing music, and unfortunately even sometimes when I am, when I used to get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would still get up by 6. It would wear me out over time. But yeah, I've got a light here. It's a stage light, and white. It doesn't have white. As close as I can get to is purple. It's like a white purple color. But yeah, so I'm surprised nobody's like made a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reference yet with my purple light here. But hey, this morning I want to talk about follow the white rabbit. QAnon kept making that reference, and everyone came up with all of these reasons and all these different things what follow the white rabbit might mean. And I think that finally some researchers have fallen onto the obvious link to what follow the white rabbit means. There's another Podesta brother that people don't really talk about. It's sorry, I had to look and get the name right. It's Alex Podesta. Alex Podesta is apparently, I believe, a brother to to John and Tony Podesta, and he produces art. Very disturbing art. You should look at this very disturbing art. It's all about men in rabbit costumes engaging in what can only be construed as sexual behavior. A lot of sexual imagery involved in the art. A lot of bondage. And I think it's reflective of pedophilia. I think there's some pedophilic... obviously a man in a big rabbit costume, yeah, it just springs to mind pedophilia. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about how the New World Order works to control and to guarantee that its agents toe the line and don't rebel and don't blow the whistle. So, if you saw my video, my testimony, I believe it's called "Sell My Soul to the," or "Sell My Soul?" ? My true crossroads experience. If you look back in my uploads, you'll see that video. And in that, I talked about how when they tried to draft me into the music business and get me to sell my soul, that one of the temptations they offered me, well, they offered me whatever I wanted, but one they made perfectly clear was, any sexual depravity that I might have a secret desire for would be provided for me. And one of the things they offered me was children, which obviously holds, if you know me at all, holds no appeal to me. If I ever had a fetish, it was older women. When I was young, I always dated older women, and my wife is 7 years older. So I was, that's never been anything that appealed to me. To me, I see people especially women, as kids until they're about 20. And, I've even been known to call 30-year-old people kids. But so it was not something that was ever going to appeal to me. And really nothing he offered me appealed to me. The main thing I wanted was to be recognized for my skills, talents, and ability. And I don't love money. If you've ever seen any of my videos, you know this. I choose to live a humble life. And honestly, I'll say this. You can't outgive God. The more money I throw away, the more money I refuse, the more money falls on me, the more gifts fall on me. This van I live in was given to me. A lot of the clothes I wear and have worn down through time were just given to me. I would refuse money, and people would leave things on my doorstep, gifts, So nothing they offered me appealed to me, and of course I refused their offer and went about following my dreams my own way. But when they draft you in, they offer you all of these things, hoping that you'll be some sort of pedophile or some sort of sexual deviant or some sort of drug addict, so that they can use those footholds, those handles, to get a hold of you and control you. And I think when QAnon spoke of the White Rabbit, he was trying to point us to Alex Podesta's very disturbing art. And I think something I haven't really talked about in my videos is how that they try to get you to engage in the deepest and darkest of depraved things so that they can use it as a blackmail tool. And I think what we're seeing in Hollywood right now and in our own government, in the Senate and in the Congress, is how these people who are either some kind of sexual deviant in a deep way, like some kind of pedophile or something, or they realize that they are protecting people of a really dark nature. So why shouldn't they grab a butt if they feel like it? Why shouldn't they coerce a woman into sex if they want to? Why shouldn't they go around engaging in whatever sexual depravity they want? Because all the people above them, around them, and beside them are engaging in much worse behavior. And one of the things that I don't like about what's going on, I mean, I'm tickled pink, honestly, or purple in this case. I'm very happy that that victims are speaking out now against all of these sexual predators. But what I don't like is the spin that the press is putting on it. They're putting all this focus on people who are guilty of what I consider minor infractions, which are not technically illegal. Trying to kiss a woman and her not. I mean, I don't like Frankenstein. Don't get me wrong. This guy's got to go. But to inflate what he did in a way, I think, is an effort to diminish what's really going on out there, which is pedophilia and rape and sex trafficking. That's what's going on in our government. That's what's going on in Hollywood. And I think that these people like Franken are sacrificial lambs. Did you ever ask yourself why this liberal supporter of Al Franken outed him after all these years with a photo? She could have done that whenever she wanted to. She says she's a supporter of him and has forgiven him for his behavior. But they're doing this so that it's kind of like if you were being robbed at gunpoint and you had $100,000 in a money belt, and you threw your wallet down and went, "There, take my money, take all my money, there, it's yours," and there's $10 in your wallet. A lot of people that work in high crime areas keep a throwdown wallet that's got nothing in it but some fake family pictures, a credit card that is not activated, and $20, while in their other pocket is their real wallet with all the cash and the real stuff in it. And so is Al Franken a throwdown wallet? Is he just somebody that they're throwing out there to us to get us to think that we're really uncovering the corruption, when the people that are condemning him and prosecuting him are probably the worst ones? That is a dangerous behavior, because one thing about these throwdown wallets, they can talk. They can tell you, these people that they're throwing under the bus for minor things, one of them's going to talk. One of them's not going to be real happy about being thrown under the bus while real pedophiles are at work in the government. Somebody somewhere along the line, if this keeps up, is going to roll over on the real bad dogs, and you're going to see some major stuff. I mean, even right now, it's dangerous throwing Bill and Hillary under the bus. And that's what they're doing. This Lolita Express thing is really starting to crack the mainstream media. How this convicted sex trafficker, Epstein, had an island, and how all of these rich people would fly out to his island, and the Secret Service agents would be forced to hang out at the cabin on the beach because Epstein had his own security, and they would engage in all kinds of illegal sexual and depraved behavior on this island. And but there's Clinton knows where the bodies are buried. Hillary knows where the bodies are buried. But I think those two are true believers. Those two are true worshipers of Moloch, and I don't believe that they're going to throw people under the bus. But somebody might. Somebody along the line is not going to take kindly to being the sacrificial lamb. We can only hope. And then there's the whole thing of how depraved and how compromised is the FBI. So that if a person decided that they wanted to roll over on a bigger criminal, would the FBI individuals and people in government that they were trying to talk to were in on it? That's the danger. Who do you tell if you want to tell on these people? But QAnon, I think, is pointing us towards the depraved pedophilia and sexual practices of the elites by referencing the White Rabbit, which I think goes straight to Alex Podesta's art, which is all white rabbits. It's just all white rabbits behaving in various different depraved ways. The whole thing is disturbing. You should see. You should go and look. If you don't mind being disturbed, because it's disturbing. But I believe that this pedophile ring in Hollywood and in the music business and in government, they get you involved in this kind of stuff so then they can threaten to out you and they can threaten to expose you. And that keeps you in line. It makes you do what they say. And, it's a practice not uncommon in criminal behavior of all sorts. Drug rings, they do the same sort of thing. They get you on videotape committing some kind of ghastly act that would make your mother ashamed, and then they use it and hold it over you. The mafia, they operate much the same way. Criminals are all kind of similar in how they approach things, because, they got the same master, the devil himself. So I hope that this pedophile ring in government is being exposed, but I'm afraid what we're getting is sacrificial lambs, while the really bad ones are getting away scot-free. But maybe one of those sacrificial lambs will roll over on them and we'll start to get to the truth. Hey, it is better than nothing what's happening, and it is vast. I'm right now in the process. There are so many people accused of sexual crimes currently in Hollywood, the music business, media, and entertainment, that I've got a research assistant who's working now for about 3 straight days just to compile a list. That's how many people have been accused. Just trying to compile a list of the accused is taking all of his free time. But when the list is compiled, I will make a video, and you will see that, you're probably hearing about one here or one there, but there's literally at least 100. We're at about 60 names right now, and still researching. So to say that this is a systemic problem is an understatement. This is this problem of sexual depravity and pedophilia and rape and sexual molestation and harassment, and this naked man game where they come out with no clothes on to see who'll bite. This kind of behavior is so. It permeates everything, man. They're all doing it. But we're exposing that. We're going to continue to, no pun intended, expose this. And stay tuned, because things are heating up. And I hope we can really get to the real criminals instead of these throw down wallet, these, I accidentally kissed the wrong woman, or I came out in my underwear thing. I hope we can get past that and get to the real issues that we all believe and know are there. And we've had enough whistleblowers to find that truth. So, once again, follow the White Rabbit, because the White Rabbit is referring to pedophilia and the sick child sex trafficking that's going on in our government, our entertainment. And if you see the Hellfire series that I do, you'll know it all pertains to Moloch worship, or demonic worship. And eventually, if you get deep enough, you find that they're sacrificing children to a pagan, not even a pagan god, a demonic god, Moloch, that was warned against in the Bible. So anyway, dark subject on this morning, but I wish I had something more lighthearted to report about, but this is the dark reality that we are facing now. All right, have a good one.